So, with today being New Year's Day, it is officially 2 years since Donald Trump and the Republicans' tax cuts have been in effect for corporations. Now, for the average American citizen, those tax cuts have only been in effect for 1 full year. But nonetheless, 2 full years of Republican tax cuts. Tax cuts that, by the way, Donald Trump promised us were going to be, quote, rocket fuel for the economy. So the big question is, where is that rocket fuel taking us? Where is it exactly? And the answer is in the pockets of the top 1%. I know I've hammered on this issue a lot over the last couple years. In fact, even in the last couple weeks. Well, guess what, folks? I am going to continue hammering on this issue until these tax cuts are repealed. And I think every single Democrat running for office right now needs to be doing the same thing. Because here's the truth. Donald Trump said they'd be rocket fuel for the economy. Do you know what kind of economic growth we saw in all of 2019? 2.9%. 2.9% economic growth throughout the entire calendar year. We saw 2.9% growth of the overall economy in the year 2015. So before we had the tax cuts, we were still growing at the same rate we're growing now with the tax cuts. Except we also had a $1 trillion deficit in 2019. $1 trillion. Why? Well, because corporate tax revenues fell by 31%. I'm sure that played a big role in it. Not to mention the fact that we're spending more money, obviously, than we're taking in, but we're reducing the amount we take in without reducing the amount we're spending. Now, typically, I'm not a big deficit matters kind of person because in reality, it doesn't matter all that much, except for when Republicans come for our social programs, which is exactly what they're doing. Republicans want to cut Social Security, they want to cut Medicaid and Medicare in order to pay down that deficit. Because God forbid they reduce the military budget. God forbid they repeal the tax cuts. No, they're not going to do that. That benefits the wealthy people. So instead, they're going to come for programs that benefit the poor. They've cut back on school lunch programs here in the United States. They're trying to rewrite how we define poverty, change actual math on that, so that fewer people get food stamp assistance, so we can save some money there. That's why these stories matter. These tax cuts have actually crippled the economy. They haven't helped. Workers didn't get multiple bonuses. Corporations did that as a one-time thing to get some positive publicity. They didn't get raises. Less than 13% of the tax cut savings that corporations received went towards investing in their own company and giving their employees pay raises. Less than 13% of that money. We're still struggling. And if the Republicans in charge of this country have any say in it, they're going to make us struggle a whole hell of a lot more once they start cutting those social programs to pay for these tax cuts. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.